Imagine you're on an airplane. The pilot comes on the speaker and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, we might hit turbulence. There's a 25% chance. But don't worry. We expect a smooth landing." Would that make you feel calm? Or would you grip the armrest just a little tighter? Now imagine the pilot adds, "Oh, and by the way, the last 2 times the turbulence meter looked like this, it didn't go great." That's basically what's happening in the stock market right now. One of the biggest banks in the world just released a massive report about what they think will happen to your investments in 2026. They say returns might slow down. They say stocks are expensive. They say risks are rising. But they don't say, sell everything. They don't say, we're crashing. So what are they really saying? And more importantly, what should you do about it? Today, I'm going to break this down so clearly that even a 12-year-old could understand it. No fear. No hype. Just truth. Let's start simple. Over the last 5 years, the US stock market has grown very fast. Think of it like this. Imagine a lemonade stand that used to make $10 a day. Now it suddenly makes $20 a day. You would ask, did something amazing happen? Or are people just overpaying for lemonade? That's the question investors are asking right now. Stock prices have doubled in some cases. When prices rise very quickly, 2 things can be true. Companies really became much better. Or investors became overly excited. Sometimes it's both. But when excitement drives prices too high, markets can correct. Not because the world is ending, but because prices got ahead of reality. The report predicts around 7% returns next year. Now, 7% sounds decent. But here's the problem. The past few years delivered double-digit returns. People got used to 12%, 15%, even 20%. So when someone says, expect 7%, it feels disappointing. But here's what matters. That 7% number depends on assumptions. Assumptions like no major recession, no big geopolitical shocks, no major debt crisis, no sudden drop in corporate profits. That's a lot of IFS. It's like saying, I'll probably win the race if I don't trip, twist my ankle, or run into bad weather. Possible? Yes. Guaranteed? No. Here's something very important. When markets are expensive, small disappointments hurt more. Imagine you buy a video game for $20. If it's slightly boring, you don't feel terrible. Now imagine you paid $200 for that same game. If it's boring, you're furious. That's how expensive markets work. When stocks are priced very high, expectations are high. If companies deliver even slightly less than expected, prices adjust. Sometimes quickly. Now here's where people usually panic. They think, okay, crash is coming. I should sell everything. But history teaches something very uncomfortable. Most of the market's biggest gains happen shortly after big drops. The best days often come right after the worst days. So if you panic and sell during fear, you usually miss the recovery. It's like running out of the movie theater during the scary scene and missing the happy ending. That's why emotional investing is dangerous. Let's say you're 50 years old. You have $800,000 invested. You plan to retire in 10 years. If your money grows at 7% annually, you might reach around $1.6 million. But if returns average only 4% instead, you might end up closer to $1.1 million. That's a huge difference. Same starting point. Different outcome. And here's the hard truth. Nobody knows which scenario happens. Not the banks. Not the analysts. Not the news. Anyone who says they know is guessing confidently. Now let's talk about incentives. Big banks don't publish reports because they love regular investors. They publish reports because their wealthy clients demand explanations. When billions of dollars are involved, people want answers. So banks provide detailed forecasts. If they're right, they look smart. If they're wrong, they can say, well, we warned about risks. It's not about prediction. It's about protection. Here's the part most people skip. Instead of asking, will the market crash? You should ask, would I survive if it does? That's a much more powerful question. Because crashes are part of history. Markets fall. Then they recover. The real danger isn't falling prices. The real danger is being forced to sell during those falls. That's why emergency funds matter. Proper asset allocation matters. Diversification matters. If you're young, stay consistent. Keep investing. Volatility is your friend over decades. If you're close to retirement, reduce risk gradually. Don't go all in on growth. Don't go all in on fear either. Balance. If you already have gains from the past 5 years, rebalance. That means trimming what grew too big. Not because you expect disaster, but because discipline beats prediction. Here's the truth nobody says clearly. Markets feel most dangerous near the top, and most hopeless near the bottom. But the best long-term results come from staying rational in both moments. Boring investors often win. Not the loud ones. Not the panic sellers. Not the YouTube prophets predicting doom every 6 months. Just steady people. Consistent savers. Long-term thinkers. The 2026 forecast isn't a warning siren. It's a reminder. A reminder that returns won't always be huge. Markets won't always feel easy. Optimism shouldn't erase caution. But caution shouldn't erase courage either. The goal isn't to predict the storm. The goal is to build a ship strong enough to survive it. So let me leave you with this. If the market drops tomorrow, would you panic? Or would you stay calm because your plan is built for storms? That answer matters more than any 103-page report. If this helped you understand what's really happening, without fear, without hype, subscribe. On this channel, we don't chase headlines. We build clarity. And clarity builds wealth. See you in the next video.